In this video, we will copy the format of these cells and apply them to these cells. So let's start with this format. Open the VBA editor, go to Developer tab and click Visual Basic. And in here, right click from here and insert a new module. And from here, we will create our first sub procedure. So I will name this format cell. And we will start by declaring a range variable and we will name it RNG. Then we will set this range variable to the range of the cells. Sheet 1 is the worksheet name. Then let's access the range, input the first cell and the last cell. Let's use a with function for the range variable because we will be changing multiple properties. I will start by centering the text horizontally and vertically. To do that, we need to access the property that vertical alignment and set that to Excel center, and the horizontal alignment and again set that to Excel center. Now if we run it, that will be applied to this range of cells. Next is to change the row height of these cells. But first we need to check what is the row height of the cells we are copying. So to do that, we can right click from this row, select row height, and it shows 30. Once we have that, we can go back to the VBA editor and then access the row height property and set that to 30. If we run the code, our row height will be adjusted. Next is the background color, but first we need to know what is the color code of these cells. And to do that, we will be using the immediate window. So to open the immediate window, you can press Ctrl G from your keyboard, or you can also do that by clicking View and then click Immediate Window. So let's access one cell, for example, the A6, and then get its interior, that color code, and press Enter. And this number represents the color code of this color. So we will copy that. And now let's access the interior, that color property of these cells and set that to the same color code, which is this. And now let's run the code. And now we have the similar background color. Next is the font style and the font size. And we can again use the immediate window to get those details from the cell we are copying. So let's start with the font name. To do that, we can access the font.name property of the A6 cells. Press enter, and now it will show us the font name. We can copy that, and from here we can access the same property, that font.name, and set that equals to the font name we copied. Now if we click run, the same font name will now be applied to our text. Next is the font size. We can again access that from immediate window. Let's just replace the name by size. Click enter, and now it gives us 9. So from here we can access the font that size property and set that equals to 9 as well. If we click run, it will be applied to our text. Lastly is the font style, because these cells we are copying is in bold. So to do that, we can access the property that font that bold and set that equals to true. And now if we run it, we have now the similar cell format with this cell. Next is to copy the cell format. To do that, we will create a new sub procedure, and I will name this sub format cell underscore 2. And again, we will start by declaring a range variable. I will again name it RNG and set it to the uh, range of our cell. That is sheet 1, that range A1 to D1. And again, we will use the with functions for the range variable. And let's start again by centering the text horizontally and vertically. And then for the row height, we can also set that to 30. Now for the interior color, we will use the immediate window. This time we will copy the format of the A8 range or cell, and that is this color. Copy that. Now let's access the interior that color property and set that to the same color code. Then the font name. So here I will just remove this value and font that name. Copy this font name, and now let's access that same property. Then the font size. So let's just replace this. That's 11. And it is also in bold style, so we will access the font that bold property and set that to true. Now if we test this, we have now the same color, row height, and font name. For the font color, we need to set that to white. So to do that, we need to access the font dot color property, and we can say BB white, run it, and that is now almost the same. Last is the border property. As you can notice, this cells have a border. To do that, we can access or use the dot borders, that line style, and set that to Excel continuous. If we run that, our cell now has a default border. So we want a thick border, and to do that, you will again access the borders and then access the weight property and set that to Excel thick. And now if we run that, we can see the changes in our font or border weight. Next is the border color. So if you want to know what is the border color of this border, we can again access a cell from that range and then access the borders property, that color, press enter, and now it will give us the color code of that border. Copy that, and in here, let's access the borders, that color equals to that color code. And now if I run it, we have now a similar cell format from this cell to this cell. And that is all for this topic. If you like and enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you and see you in the next video.